Today we are going to do Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and his great disciple Swami Vivekananda. These two have influenced modern India and inspired many nationalist leaders, including Gandhi. And Vivekananda continues to influence the youth. So let us first cover Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is a deeply religious person. A deeply religious person, and it appears that that's how he was. Not that he inquired into certain issues and then learned like Buddha. We don't know how people like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa are ever what they are, why they become what they become. When he was a child, he saw over a dark cloud a group of white cranes. So that vision induced in Ramakrishna trance. By trance we mean loss of consciousness. By loss of consciousness we mean loss of sensory awareness. And the idea of self. There is no sense of I, no data from senses. One goes into a trance like that. Why he went into, we can't say, but he went into it. And then perhaps he saw the pleasure of it. That was only the first trance, and later he would have many trances where he would just simply fall into an unconscious state and remain for hours. Yes, very strange. Then his brother was a priest. Later he went to a Kali temple at Dakshineshwar, and he took the goddess Kali so seriously that he would go into trance and then have a vision of Kali. Trance is one. Visions. Ramakrishna would have vision of Kali. Kali to Ramakrishna was somebody real. It's like seeing God face to face, which is the dream of so many religious thinkers and seekers. An unusual thing about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is that he was not a scholar. He never read scriptures by himself, but he used to listen to many people. And he used to listen to different traditions within Hinduism and even different religions, including Christianity, Islam. And Ramakrishna was such a sincere religious person that many people would come to him and teach what they believed in. And Ramakrishna would practice and realize the truth of others. And strangely, it included learning about Christianity and learning about Islam. And then he saw in trances Prophet Muhammad, Rama, Krishna, and Jesus. So, what we can summarize about his religion is that trances and visions, and all this gave him some kind of ecstatic experience of very high order, some kind of self-merging with something else, some transformation. We don't know what it is all about. But at a very early stage in his life, he was seen as a madman. But later, because of the way he spoke, the way he explained religious things, the way he explained his own ecstatic state of mind, drew scholars all over Bengal and rest of India. And they used to be amazed by this man. To many, it appeared that Ramakrishna represented ancient Indian tradition of mysticism and religious ecstasy in the 19th century. So, such a man was Ramakrishna. Vivekananda was of a different disposition. He was known for rational thinking. And well-read person of particularly Western thought and Eastern thought. But then he had always dreamt of becoming a monk and pursuing religion. So he used to attend lectures on religion and philosophy, and he used to ask the speakers very uncomfortable question, have you seen God? But surely no speaker would be in a position to say, yes, I have seen. But one of them told Vivekananda, at that time Narendranath, Swami Vivekananda was a name given to him after he became a disciple of Ramakrishna. But before that, his name was Narendranath. And one of the speakers told him, if you really want to meet a person who can say, I have seen God, go to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Then he went. There he asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, where do you see God? Did you see him? He said, yes, I see him and I see him regularly, but with more clarity and with more intensity than I see you. Narendranath was shocked, but definitely was not convinced in the beginning. Vivekananda thought that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was seeing his own illusions. Of course, Vivekananda must be right. But then, why we don't dismiss them simply as illusions unworthy of our pursuit or interest is that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is an extraordinary man, very wise, explains a lot of philosophy in parables. So Narendranath couldn't dismiss him as one madcap and leave him. There was something great and profound in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So Narendranath used to visit him, talk to him. Then slowly and slowly he was convinced of greatness of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And of course, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had great love for Vivekananda. And he trusted him. He believed that Vivekananda would be a great man one day. Vivekananda was mesmerized, impressed, hypnotized by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's trust in him. So Vivekananda came to think that there is indeed something kind of religious experience, genuine, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is representative of some ancient, mystical, religious, authentic tradition. It is true, at one time Vivekananda also wanted to have such things, trances and visions, but when he told Ramakrishna that I also want to go into trance and see things, Ramakrishna said, "Oh please, why do you do such things? You are meant for some great things." That's interesting. Trances and visions are not supposed to be great things, but something else. And that great things Vivekananda would do after Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's death. Vivekananda didn't pursue these trances and visions, but convinced by the authenticity and the beauty of Hinduism. And one very big development in his life was attending World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. And there he explained Hinduism to the Western audience. And he said, when everybody was explaining how his own path or his own religion was superior or better, Vivekananda explained that Hinduism believes that there are many paths, and like different streams join in ocean, different religions are different ways to know God. How did Vivekananda get this kind of impression? It is from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who could meet many gods in his visions. And more importantly, the way Vivekananda spoke, the depth of his understanding shocked the Western audience. The newspapers wrote that, see, he is a very learned man learned Hindu monk from India, and why are we sending Christian missionaries to that land? So Vivekananda became popular and well received, and he went about giving lectures in USA and later in Europe about Hinduism, about spirituality in general. So Western audience was impressed and shocked. All this India was following. And India at that time was feeling very inferior. Inferior not simply in a military sense, but culturally, even religion-wise. Because Christian missionaries used to make fun of Hinduism, belief in various gods, caste system, sati, all kinds of things. But Vivekananda's message and that Western audience was So listening to him with so much attention made Indians in India think that yes, we are not inferior, our culture is not inferior, our religion is not inferior. And, and maybe we are inferior and we are inferior currently. But doesn't mean that we have always been like this. So Vivekananda inculcated pride in the past, in culture, in Hinduism. In India. Vivekananda did all these things. But then, he didn't simply glorify. Vivekananda was aware of evils like poverty, caste, woman status. Vivekananda was aware of it. And innovatively, Vivekananda thought the purpose of monks and the purpose of religion itself is to reform and make India a better place and free of social evils. A monk is not supposed to further speculate on philosophy, which he thought was useless, but he should use his energy and intelligence to reform the society, to make it literate, to be free from superstitions, to motivate people to selfless service, to develop India. So Ramakrishna Paramsa, Vivekananda are two different predispositions. One is a religious person and another person used religion for political, economic and social upliftment. So Vivekananda wore saffron clothes, but his important message seems to be social, political. By political we don't mean that he wanted us to fight against colonialism, not like that. By political we mean empowerment, self-confidence, getting over inferiority. All these things Vivekananda represented. And Vivekananda could speak with so much of force and wisdom because he knew personally one authentically religious person. So an advantage which people like Raja Mohan Rai and others didn't have. Raja Mohan Rai was more like a scholar. He had to read and interpret and interpret. And his interpretation is often how good ours is how close ours is to the West, and that is why how it is not so bad. It is like that. But Raja Mohan Rai's, Vivekananda's interpretation is much original, bold. When Raja Mohan Rai was apologetic about polytheism, Vivekananda said, what is wrong with having more gods? So like that, Vivekananda instilled a sense of self-confidence in Indians, but at the same time brought awareness of its evils. So all this contributed to modernization. And which contributed to freedom struggle later. Self-confidence, awareness of evils, that we were good and we can make it. So that's how both Ramakrishna Paramhamsa and Vivekananda contributed to modernization of